Howdy, my name is Tim, and I appreciate you coming and watching this video, and I appreciate you coming to this page. The story I want to relate to you is basically, it's a love story, if you will. And I'll start, I can't tell you my whole life story, but I'll tell you a brief synopsis of how me and my wife met and what we're trying to do. I was in prison. I had worked as a carpenter for years, and I hurt my back, and in the process became dependent upon pain pills and turned to street drugs when the doctors cut me off. I ended up in prison over my drug use and the crimes I committed to support it. That's a hard thing to admit, and it was all of my making. So it makes it doubly hard for me to ask for help under the conditions that I created some of this myself. Okay, I created some of this myself. So, I had a friend who supported me, a guy I knew. He has since passed. And I asked him, hey, have somebody write me. I need somebody to write me because I hadn't had a letter in over 3 years. And I had a year and a half left to do. And I needed to connect with real people. And so I asked him to have somebody write me, and this lady wrote me. Her name is Rachel. And I wrote her back, and I was really honest, and we struck a chord with each other, and we wrote for the next year and a half. Weekly, we started making phone calls, and she started to visit me, and we fell in love. We fell in love through the mail, and then we met. And she stuck with me, and I told her, look, I'm not just trying to pull a girl so I have some support on the outside and then just go out and be a complete knucklehead. I need to change my life, and I need some help. And so I got out, and I went to a halfway house, and she lived in Tacoma, and I lived in Bellingham, and then we worked to where I could get to Tacoma. And I started school. I wanted to go back to school and get a college degree. I knew that education was the answer for me to stay out of prison and to change what I was doing. And so I went to college in 2009. At the age of 50, I started with a GED, and we both went until we had our master's degrees. I got mine last June, a master in public administration. After 6 years of college, at the top of my class, had a 3.96 GPA, maintained throughout. My wife, in the same scenario, I think she had a 3.98. She got a master in teaching. She starts teaching in a month and a half. In a month. She won't get paid for 2 months. When I got my MPA last June, we had everything we had in Hawk, from trying to make ends meet, both of us being college students. And we had some gold. We hawked it, so we had to get it out. So I went back to work as a carpenter. I couldn't get the job I needed to support us, so I went back. Excuse me. Excuse me. I went back to work as a carpenter. And so I've been doing that for the last year. And my wife landed a job with a school district, and she's in professional training right now. We have $10 in the bank. And I have to go buy a shovel that was broke the other day to go finish a job across the street to help my neighbor dig a drain tile around his house. So the scenario we're in is we're trying to move into a duplex that's connected to it has a 3-bedroom and a 2-bedroom. Our children live in the 2-bedroom. They're moving into the 3-bedroom, and we're going to move into the 2-bedroom. It's my son and my daughter-in-law and their 3 children. In the 3-bedroom it'll be. It's close. It's tight. They're both work, and they're both broke, raising 3 kids, and we try and help them as much as we can. And what we're trying to do with our education is show the family that education is the key, and they're going to see how our life turns and changes once we start making a decent income, and we'll be able to support them. But we're just like, we've crossed this ocean from me being in prison to both of us having master's degrees, working and making a contribution to society greater than ourselves, right? And, yeah. Excuse me. And so, we need the finances to get into this apartment. And the way it's working is the landlord is in dire straits too. She let the guy that was living in it next to our daughter and son-in-law let him go without paying rent for months, and him and his wife broke up, and she didn't want to kick him out on the street, and so out of the kindness of her heart, she got a Delta Raw deal, and ends up holding the bag of a lot of money to get this apartment back together. So what me and my son are doing is working for free. She offered to pay us $10 an hour, and we just can't take it from this lady who doesn't have it to give, So, yeah. So, it's just a minute. And so, everybody's working jobs. My wife starts hers. I'm working, helping finish a restaurant, but between working there when I can and working on the apartment to get it ready and working on my neighbor's drain tile, which I offered to help right at the wrong time, really. But he's an 80-year-old guy, and he can't dig his own ditch around his house, right? So I am. And then somebody broke my shovels, and so, life happened. It's really just life, like everybody has experienced it. But through these experiences, we've lost so many of our family members. Our family is just, my wife is just devastated. The day that she went to take her last test before she started her MIT program, her mom passed. We found out about 7 in the morning. She had to take her test at 9:30, and she went and took it, and she slayed it. She passed it with flying colors. And the first month that she started her program, and my second year of my program, our master's degree programs, we lost our son, Chance. Had a heart condition, ended up back in the hospital, and they couldn't save him. They tried, and we watched his life ebb away as they gave him CPR. That was October 30th, 2014. It seems like a while back. It'll be 2 years this October. It also still just stings. Life is funny in that I had lost a daughter when I was 19, and she was my firstborn, and it just ruined me for years. And but something I gained from it that I didn't know I had was the knowledge that life can carry on after a tragedy. And what I learned is that life can carry on after a tragedy. And I think that's a huge part of why I met my wife, is to help her through this. It's like the universe or God or whatever you want us to believe said, I'm going to give you a guide. He's unsavory at times, but he's been there. I think another thing that makes it difficult to ask for help is that I know I'm not unique in my loss. Everybody's lost. Everybody tries to carry on through difficult times. We're not asking for a continuation of support. We're asking for some help to get from here to there. And we've had this huge plan that's just almost to completion. We'll be in a place where we can stay safe for years together, and it's a place that they won't raise the rent, and it's a place we can combine our forces and our talents and everything we have and work together as a family, as a team. And I feel it incumbent upon me as the patriarch of that family. I think it is incumbent upon me as the patriarch of that family to be humble enough to ask for help, and be wise enough to know when I need help, and to do the work. If I could let my family take a break and do all the work myself, I absolutely would. We don't have a lot of time to make this happen. And, all of us are behind in bills. We all have these things that are happening that will bring money that aren't quite here yet, and we don't really know what else to do. So I have, what do I have to offer? I have music. That's what I have. And I don't know what levels to offer what. I really don't. So whatever I've decided on the side, I will. If it's to write you a personal song for a big contribution, I absolutely will do that. If it's to do something for you in your name, I would do that. If it's for for whatever, I would all my songs are free download on the internet anyway, but if you contribute anything, you can have free downloads of my music. And I think that all contributions come with the knowledge that you're helping an amazing family, man. They're just such incredible people, man. Little Willow is 3. Chad is 8. Alexandria is 10. And I think Braden is just about 17. Alexandria will be moving in soon, so the girls can have a room, the boys can have a room, and the parents can have a room. It'll be a full house, but it already is. We'll be next door, and they can crash our house when they want. Plan on building my shop so I can refurbish antique pianos and make furniture out of them. That's part of my nonprofit design. Once my wife starts work and her income starts coming in, then I can, land that job. Take the time to actually apply for and do interviews, go through the interview process, which I don't have time to do now. I literally don't. It's hard to be involved in the construction world in any capacity, and then also do interviews for data analysts and bill analysts and stuff like that, policy analysts. That's what I do. It's what I'm trained to do. But project management skills have came into play and helped us. We just have such great potential and things just poised, and we've done so much work in this effort for ourselves. We just need a little boost, man. So if you feel compelled to help us, man, I really appreciate it, okay? And I want you to have an awesome day, and even if you can't help, man, just appreciate you listening to me and hearing my story, okay? And you have an awesome day, and thank you very kindly. Take care, y'all.